We have Maya there. She came to live with Dad in year 2. She has lots and lots and lots and lots of behavioural needs, but is very clever and charming and could be a huge success. The challenge we have with Maya is that she has this very unsettled background. Some of her behaviour is actually quite bizarre, and that's actually put some tension in her relationships with her peers. At the end of year 5, she came to live with her dad. She left the mother in Ivory Coast. At the end of year 5, father decided that she was, to use his words, too annoying, and he put her on a plane back to the Ivory Coast to see her mother, telling her mother she was only coming for a holiday. He was actually planning to send her back there permanently, but didn't tell the mother because he knew she wouldn't agree to it. He texted Mum to say that actually she was coming full time once Maya had arrived. And on receiving this information, Maya's mum put her back on a plane to England and texted the dad when she was en route to say, by the way, she'll be at Heathrow at whatever time tomorrow. Dad is narcissistic in the extreme. This is nothing I haven't said to him, by the way. It's that his demeanour, his persona is much more important than Maya. He can't move away from that. He's obsessed with bodybuilding and becoming an actor. On splitting up with his most recent girlfriend, he and Maya ended up sleeping in the car until the car was recovered by the police because it was actually stolen. They're now in a hotel while we push and push and push the local authority to recognise the safeguarding risks that we feel are there. Maya has literally no one in her family who really wants her. And that is brutal. And that is, I call myself a hope junkie, but there are times when even my hope junkiness actually gets sparked out. We struggle to get eye contact, and quite often we just get these monosyllabic one-word answers, very closed body language. She's just, slouching, she doesn't want to be with us. However, when it comes to talking about her mentor and her sessions that are coming up, she lights up. She's much more assertive in her manner. She really comes to life. That is because she knows in that space she is important and she is valued. Now, you can't put a price on that. I can't define that within the national curriculum standards, but it is vital for her to have that. Then we come to Jacob. Jacob is second of 4 brothers in his family. He was taken into care at the age of 6 due to his mum's mental health issues. He came to live with his dad in year 2. He has lots and lots of behavioural needs, but he is very clever and very charming, and I have often threatened him. I said, I'll take you home, Jacob, and then things will be right. And he laughs at me. Mrs. McCarthy, how would that work? He is just delightful, but he is a handful. He could be a huge, huge success because he's so bright. He loves his Bridge Builders sessions. He said to us, my favourite part was when I went on the work experience day. I enjoyed talking about how school is going and what I want to be when I'm older. The experience means I now have a boost to success. He's recognised that. I would recommend it to others who are finding learning difficult. These sessions make me feel really special. Jacob's behaviour is much more settled when he knows his mentor is coming in. He's less settled when he comes back into class because he wants to tell the world just what a great time he's had, and we have to manage that again in a different way, but never mind. Then we have Charlotte, who struggles with learning, has very poor self-esteem. She is a traveller. Literacy skills are poor in the family. They have no money. Now, we all have a view about travellers. I've visited the site, I've been in the caravans, I've seen where they're living. There's almost a caste system amongst the travellers, my observation, and there are those who have quite a lot of disposable income and those who have very little indeed, and she comes from the latter. When I was talking to the teacher about her, she said how sensitive her mentor had been, because here we are talking about aspirations, and it's very similar to what you were saying. And her aspiration, we know we will struggle to keep her in school past year 7, year 8. And yet, she knows that there is a choice. And I think that goes back to our philosophy very much in our schools, is that education is emancipatory. It gives you choices in a way that nothing else does. And it's a particular challenge within certain cultural norms when that's perhaps at odds with what we're saying. But Charlotte absolutely loves her sessions. I take away amazing facts from them. They're helping me with my knowledge about left and right wing. Now, I have no idea what goes on in terms of the political conversations in there. And if you knew Charlotte the way I knew Charlotte, you think, really? But she said it. So hats off to the mentor. My sessions make me feel proud of myself. Charlotte loved her work experience day at UPS and spoke excitedly about every aspect. She always enjoys her sessions, even when they've challenged her thinking. And I think that's where we talk about her future, especially about her future opportunities and understanding what possibilities might be open to her. Her mentor, this is her teacher saying, her mentor has been very sensitive to this, has managed these situations really well. And then we have Leon. He's the third of 4 children. Mum is on her own. He's the second boy. The older brother is extremely disruptive and dominates, soaks up an awful lot of the family emotional resource. He can be quiet and lack self-esteem. He can also make some really daft choices because he allows himself to be led. His comments are, the sessions are good. They help me talk to people when I'm shy. The sessions make me feel happy. I feel special because not everyone gets these sessions. You can keep the video running. Right, Cameron. So, we were having an open day, and my office is at the front of the building, and I was aware of a kerfuffle. That's not unusual in schools. We get kerfuffles quite a lot. And then I suddenly became aware of somebody just outside my door scrutinizing the display there. And so I came out and said, can I help you? And it was Cameron. Basically, he said, oh, no, I'm just waiting. And basically, he was avoiding the kerfuffle that was out the front there. And what I was struck by was we had a parent had come in on an open day to visit the school and had been utterly irrational and unreasonable about a parking space. And I could hear the dulcet tones of the office doing the soothing things that they do. And she'd been ridiculous about it and rude and offensive. Cameron managed that by just moving away. And what I was really struck by was that when Leon came down, Cameron was very much in role. He shook hands with Leon. And Leon grew about 3 inches straight away. So even though this utter ridiculousness had gone on, you had had the resilience and the presence of mind to say, you know what, this woman's bonkers. You didn't say it. You moved away. And you were still. And now that's the model that we are hoping from our children. So that is exactly what we are. So I congratulate you about that, Cameron. And that's not what he'll be getting at home. And I think this is what it's all about in terms of trying to show the difference, this notion of being emancipatory and life choices being perhaps different from what they think they are. I'm going to finish with a video. Forgive, there's some stereotypical language in there, but to me, it hits home about what we're all about. Okay.
Hey, line up! Line up! Everybody line up! We're about to race. Everybody line up! Shoulder to shoulder. Take off your backpacks. Basketball, line up. We're about to race. Hey, we are racing for a $100 bill. The winner of this race will take this. It's a $100 bill. Before I say go, I'm going to make a couple statements. If those statements apply to you, I want you to take 2 steps forward. If those statements don't apply to you, I want you to stay right where you're at. Take 2 steps forward if both of your parents are still married. Take 2 steps forward if you grew up with a father figure in the home. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a private education. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a free tutor growing up. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to worry about your cell phone being shut off. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to help mom or dad with the bills. Take 2 steps forward if it wasn't because of your athletic ability, you don't have to pay for college. Take 2 steps forward if you never wondered where your next meal was going to come from. I want you guys up here in the front just to turn around and look. Every statement I've made has nothing to do with anything any of you have done. Has nothing to do with decisions you've made. Everything I have said has nothing to do with what you've done. We all know these people up here have a better opportunity to win this $100. Does that mean these people back here can't race? No. We would be foolish to not realize we've been given more opportunity. We don't want to recognize that we've been given a head start. But the reality is we have. Now, there's no excuse. They still got to run their race. You still got to run your race. But whoever wins this $100, I think it'd be extremely foolish of you not to utilize that and learn more about somebody else's story. Because the reality is, if this was a fair race and everybody was back on that line, I guarantee you some of these black dudes would smoke all of you. And it's only because you have this big of a head start that you're possibly going to win this race called life. That is a picture of life, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing you've done has put you in the lead that you're in right now. When I say go, on your mark, get set, go! If you didn't learn anything from this activity, you're a fool.
So you're the ones who are helping those on the back line, and that makes a difference to them. So thank you very much for all that you do for them.